Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Save SA Wine live stream. It's Monday morning, the 9th of November. We've had some magnificent rains in the Winelands, and why not start this week with a good, healthy breakfast? So, there's many places in the Winelands where you can get a breakfast, and we are also inviting you to join and come and enjoy the best of the Winelands. Join our movement. Come to facebook.com/groups / Save SA Wine, where you'll find all the latest specials and deals in the Winelands and what's going on. And we also need everybody to support us because, as you know, we're going to have a very, very dry tourism season in the Winelands. So we need everybody's support. Please come to our group, share it with as many people as you can. And that would be fantastic if you could do that. And like I said, breakfast in the Winelands is something that is really spectacular. And one of the places to come and have breakfast from Wednesday to Sunday is Haskell Vineyards. And please contact them at info@haskellvineyards.co.za, or please call 021 881 3895. That's 021 881 3895. Yeah, so come and have a nice breakfast in the vineyards. That would be fantastic. Um, and there's many things going on in the Winelands. Our new project is called the Save SA Wine Mural Project. Um, if you are having a small producer looking to hold the trade industry there in Cape Town, please contact us. But this hashtag Save SA Mural Project is launching on the fantastic feedback from the 1660 campaign. Thanks to that campaign, we've reached over 300,000 people per month. And this created a much needed buzz around the South African wine industry. And we need to thank Uncorkified Erica Taylor for this. We are partnering with Robinson Sinclair and Baz-Art and taking over the corner building at 192 Loop Street in Cape Town. And we're going to pretty this up with a mural that will debut on the first Thursday's Cape Town in December with a street festival and all kinds of things. So contact us if you're interested in taking part. Or Missy Erica Taylor, use these hashtags. Hashtag Save SA Wine Mural, hashtag Save SA Wine, and hashtag Drink South African. Back to things we can do in the Winelands. One of the most famous pairings in the Winelands is the Clo Malvern ice cream and wine pairing. Come enjoy this. This is a fantastic pairing to enjoy. Fantastic view from the Devon Valley. Only 6 kilometers from Stellenbosch. Excuse me, we're not in miles, we're in kilos. And another fantastic thing to do. And talking about things that are fantastic that's happening, I'm going to play you a short clip from our friends at the Fishwives Club. We thank you, the Fishwives Club, for sponsoring our morning live stream again. And they are talking about the new magical Merlot. So let's listen to this quickly.
Hi, Patrick James Robertson here, Fishwives Club Boutique Winery. We are in my happy place, which is second to the sea. It's the cellar, and it's an awesome environment to taste wine in. And my favorite, I think, when you're tasting wine, for me, I love to taste it straight out of the barrel. I like just that for me is everything. And we're here with Michael. He's the head winemaker of the no sulfur free Magic Merlot, and we're tasting it raw from the barrel, and we are tasting it with Michael right now, just to give you a first impression. We're just gonna talk and just shoot the breeze, and the nose is absolutely incredible. And I'm just gonna let Michael speak, and we're just going to try the wine. I'm very excited, and it's going to be amazing. So let's just enough talking from me.
Yeah, great, Patrick. So 11 months in the barrel, and it was older French oak barrels. So you don't get that intense integration of, let's call it, smokiness and the aromas you will get from a toasted barrel. So we wanted to preserve the primary fruit from the grapes, from the area, and that is what we got. We definitely, your black fruit, black currant, what we do get from our Bordeaux cultivars here are your mintiness, eucalyptus. That is something that stands out.
And that would be very much from the Stellenbosch terroir, which is very famous for red.
Yeah, and especially from this area, the triangle, the golden triangle that we are situated. We've got quite deep soils, deep dark soils. We don't have a lot of shale. If you go a little bit to the east, that slopes, they've got a lot more shale, younger soils. So the intensity is on another level. Here we've got a lot of growth. We have to break open the canopy, get the bunches straight into the sun, so the sun dilutes the green tannins, and that is where we get our good color from, number one. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and that green tannins is sometimes positive, sometimes negative. You have to find that middle way. Some people will say eucalyptus and mintiness is green. Yes, it's a green character, but is it positive or negative? And we're definitely on the positive side of that green, well, in brackets, green tannins. But where you will see the ripeness is in that juicy black fruit, and that jumps out on the nose.
Splendid.
Yeah, and this for a sulfur-free wine. What's this going now for 18 months, 19 months since harvest, and the sulfur is 0 and 1. What that means, 1 is a total of, you are allowed to have 150 parts per million. So 1 divided by 150 is probably less than 0.5% that we are allowed.
Incredible.
To have it, and this is like literally, you can call it without sulfur, it's our life. Color is intense, it's dark. What you will get is literally your primary fruit flavors, which is a dark black currant.
Astounding, absolutely astounding.
Juicy, and this for a sulfur-free. This is just like blows my mind still. If you like stand still and think about it. Although we're doing this now for 7-8 years, the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, I think, even just remove no sulfur added, sulfur-free. This is an incredible stand-up wine. It's on the nose. I wish you all could be here with me, but that'll happen. That'll happen very, very soon. So I'm going to give it a try as well.
And definitely, I think the palate reflects the nose. Definitely
Incredible.
I think that that mintiness I describe, and for me, it's like I said, for all the Bordeaux cultivars, especially the Cabernet Franc. The Cabernet Franc especially is like really stands out in this area. But from the nose to the palate, that is almost like a flintiness. You get that flintiness on the palate, but still your ripe fruit, juicy. It's like it's just like sits in your palate. And so it's developed fruit, and there's no greenness, and that's where the positiveness comes in. I'm sorry, I'm going back to that to the eucalyptus and mint, because that is something typical from our area. That is our DNA. That is the
This is the terroir signature.
yeah, that's our signature. Yeah, that's the right word. But yeah,
Stunning.
but again, and this 2019 Merlot, if you look back from 2018, 2017, 2016, it's by far the leader so far, and every year we learn something from the previous year. And by judging the 2020 wines now, I think next year this time we will definitely give you guys something even more special.
This is great.
So,
I gotta say, we are very, very excited. We can't wait for you to try it. The packaging is extraordinary and astounding. The wine is even more astounding. I just think in every facet you're going to love it, and it's an incredible new category we're creating here. And I'm very, very impressed with everything, the way it's played out, it's almost been divine. And I'll tell you more about it, especially when we're starting to package and we're starting to put the labels on. We're going to film that as well and talk again about the label. We'll talk about all the symbology that's in the label, the symbols, the different colors, the reason we've used certain things, give you the inside track on the magical preparation that entire label has gone through, let alone the wine, to bring the complete package of the Magical Merlot and the Green Collection. So we'll tell you more about that when we do that. So have a great day, have a great weekend. This is an incredible wine and we're very, very impressed with it. Ciao.
Cheers.
So thank you to those guys to telling us about the magical Merlot, and here's something even more magical. You can win wine for a year from the Fishwives Club. All you need to do is to add your email address. Just go to the website wineforayear.gr8.com. That's wineforayear.gr8.com. And you can win wine for a year. The link is also down in the description. The Fishwives Club will deliver a case of your favorite Fishwives Club wine every month for 12 months if you win this. So this is a fantastic prize, and thank you for the Fishwives Club for sponsoring this prize. So that's wonderful. Now on to our podcast for the day, which is we do every day we do a featured podcast. So if you want to be interviewed, just email us at visitthewinelands@gmail.com. If you're in the Winelands, have a Winelands business, we would happily talk to you. If you're promoting Winelands somewhere, we're even going to expand and talk to people that's not in the Winelands, but are helping us to save South African wine. So we'll talk to them as well. Wine bars and wine exhibitions in Gauteng and surrounds. We'll talk to those guys. So anybody that's interested in wine, just email us at visitthewinelands@gmail.com. But now let's get on with our podcast. We're playing a short explainer video about Landskroon wines, and then I'm having an interview with Paul de Villiers of Landskroon, and let's listen to their interesting story. Welcome to About the Winelands. In this show, we'll be chatting to leaders, influencers, wine producers, restaurants, winelands businesses, and other role players. Tune in every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for our latest episodes. You will find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram TV, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Good day, everyone, and welcome back to About the Winelands. Today I'm talking to Paul de Villiers. Paul is the owner of Landskroon Wines. Welcome to About the Winelands, Paul.
Thank you, Will. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon talking to you.
You have a long history in the wine industry. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you became involved with the wine industry?
Yeah, maybe I should take it back a bit further. It all started in 1689 when three de Villiers brothers arrived in South Africa from France. They came from a little town called Niort in La Rochelle, and they started farming in the Franschhoek Valley. One of the brothers, my ancestor Jacques, acquired the farm Boschendal that we still know today as Boschendal. They farmed there for about 100 years and in Franschhoek, and then they moved to Boschendal. And then in 1874, the family decided to move to the Achterpaal where we are now. They started on the farm Weltevreden. And then later on, my granddad bought two adjacent farms. And in 1963, my late dad and his brother bought the farm Landskroon. So we consolidated the 4 pieces of land and we farmed it under the name Landskroon since then. Wine has always been made on the property and was mainly sold in bulk. But in 1974, exactly 100 years after they moved here, we started bottling our own wine under the name Landskroon. The first one was a Cinsault. And I, of course, grew up on the farm and enjoyed, working on the farm during holidays and so on. And I think that's where the love for farming and eventually winemaking comes from.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing story, right? And you've been on the farm, obviously, your whole life. Are you one of the winemakers as well?
Yes, and when I started here, I actually, after, the normal studying I studied at Elsenburg and I took a course in cellar technology, first viticulture and animal husbandry, and then cellar technology, and I did my practical at Paardenburg Wines in 1979, and towards the end of 1979 I started here with my dad, who was then the winemaker. And within the next 2 years we made quite a few changes because the business excelled a bit, especially with the establishment of estate wineries. I think when we established the Landskroon wines, there were only about 27 private owned estate wineries, and then of course a number of co-ops. And where we've got today, probably about 500 small wineries. So it grew into quite a large business over the years, the whole wine industry as such.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me, Paul, our listeners would be interested. What is the difference between an estate and a cooperative winery?
In those years, it was the establishment of an estate grapes or sell grapes if you registered make wine from the grapes from your own farm. We later deregistered, so we were only then known as Landskroon Wines and not Landskroon Estate Wines. That enabled us to buy in grapes if we wanted to, or buy in wine and then blend with our own wines. But still today, most of the time, everything that we produce or we sell in the bottle comes from our estate. If there's a shortage of some wine at a certain stage, or we had a bad year, for instance, for pinotage or whatever, then we can buy in. There are not a lot of estates as such remained, because I think most of them saw the benefit of maybe buying in some grapes at a certain stage, or maybe buy in some wine. But at that stage, I think it was a good idea to establish this own private bottling of wine, and have the terroir, and also the specific area demarcated as an estate or a private cellar.
Oh, that's interesting. So when people come to your estate, what can the guest experience when they come there?
Landskron is probably more well known for their reds. About 90% of our crop is red. We have 15 different cultivars, ranging from Cinsault, Pinotage, Cabernet, Merlot, the whole range. We've got a few not so well-known cultivars as well, like Petit Verdot and Malbec. And then we also have 4 port varieties that we use to make port wine with. Nowadays, we're not allowed to call it port anymore, but that's the style we make. We call it Cape Vintage. And that's normally a blend of 4 different cultivars: Portuguese, Tinta Amarela, Suzhou, which are one of the few cultivars that has got a red juice. And then Toriga Nacional is the 4th one. So those we use mainly for making port. Left over, then we'll make a dry wine from it and sell that as a dry red in bulk. We don't bottle it as such. And then, of course, the stalwart whites, the Chenin Blanc, a little bit of Chardonnay. Sauvignon Blanc we buy in because the area is quite hot here, and Sauvignon Blanc doesn't work that well, but we've got the market for the Sauvignon Blanc. And then a very well-known cultivar or wine is the Blanc de Noir, which means white from red. If you translate the word Blanc de Noir, which is a French descriptive name, and we make that from Pinotage. It's an off-dry pink wine, lighter than rosé, so it's very popular in summer, and you can actually just drink it or have it with something like salmon or something like that. So that's more or less the range that we've got. So we've got 20 wines on our wine list. So that makes, when people come here, they can taste these wines. We've got a food and wine pairing, 2 different ones, a more expensive one with Paul de Villiers wines, which is a range that we select the grapes and put more of that wine in newer oak. We mature it a little bit longer, so that's a more expensive one, and we use that specific pairing with those 4. We've got 4 wines in the Paul de Villiers range, 4 reds and 1 white, which is a Chenin Blanc, which we also ferment and mature in French oak casks. Then, of course, there's what people enjoy here. It's normally a bit quieter than some of the other very busy estates. We've got a lovely view. People can have picnic lunches here if they, organize that beforehand. We can organize a picnic lunch for them, and there's some nice play area for the kids. We've also got walkways through the farm that people can walk around, and then we've got these bicycle routes that people can do the mountain biking. I think there is a link on our website where they can have a look at how that is done.
Well, that's awesome. You also have a cottage on the farm where people can come and stay. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, we've got a cottage here, and it sleeps 4. It's normally for like a family, small family, and it's self-catering, and it's this cottage is, of course, during the week or weekends. They can also have a look at the website, or they can just phone the farm and find out if it's available. And also a very nice view, if people stay in the cottage, They can look towards Table Mountain in the evening, and you've got that lovely view of the area from the southwestern slopes of Paarl Mountain.
Wow, it sounds fantastic. Paul, tell me, your wines, where are they sold? Are you exporting any of your wines? Are you concentrating on the local market? How do you do it?
Yes, we make use of Winimark to distribute right through South Africa. And then about 50% of our wines, just a little bit more than 50%, is sold locally. But we've got about 25 countries that we export to, some, small, others a bit bigger. We do quite well in Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and then Tanzania, and also Zanzibar and Uganda. We tend to do quite well in those countries. And I think it's mainly because of all the lodges and sightseeing there, and a lot of tourists coming to those countries. And then we have a company in Minnesota, in the USA, which they service a few states from there, and then different agents that sell our wine there. And also in China, we've got an agent there that we export to. So it's we try to cover the area, the bigger area, if we can, and we try to get new agents in different countries. We're busy now with one in Turkey.
Oh, that's interesting. So the other thing that I was wondering, it sounds like you've got a global footprint, but the coronavirus, the coronavirus has forced everyone to rethink their business model. We've been in lockdown now for a while. Things are reopening. But do you have any new changes or ideas in mind?
Yeah, I think all of us tried the online business, online sales, and it worked quite well. But what we found is, the delivery of those orders, there seems to be a backlog developed for those orders, because a lot of wineries have done that. And I think the companies that do deliveries didn't really expect the online orders to grow that as it did over the last 2 months. We of course couldn't deliver everything. We couldn't deliver, so we had to wait for the next stage to open up that we can start delivering. So there was quite a big number of orders that had to be delivered suddenly, and I think that was the one problem. But I think that's a thing that one can look at in future as well, when everything gets a bit more calm. That the type of sales that a lot of wineries will look at and will try to make better in future.
I was wondering about delivery. Do you think that because of everything happening that more courier companies will come to the party, and that delivery charges nationwide will actually start dropping a bit?
Hopefully that will happen. I think after this period that a lot of deliveries had to be done in a short period of time. One that does that type of business, I'm talking about the courier companies now, will probably relook their whole strategy and how they will handle it in future. But I think the biggest problem was all of these orders, although it came in over a period of 2 months, maybe had to deliver everything. All of the wineries experienced the same problem. That was such a big vast amount of wine that had to be delivered, and that's now the problem.
Well, everybody wanted their wine
But
on the
hopefully
same
that
day,
will,
right?
within the next week. That's the thing, because everyone was starting to run dry. Hopefully that will be sorted out soon.
I think it looks like things are slowly creeping back to normal, and so hopefully that will happen. So Paul, your wine journey has been long, and what is the most important thing you've learned from your wine journey?
I think the whole wine making, every year there's a new thing that you learn and that you try from time to time. One has your recipe, that works for you, later on, you know which cultivars work better on which soils, and the styles that you think will work better in the marketplace. But it's an ongoing, you know, making a change here and there, small changes, because you can't really make big changes and then change your style completely, because you've now got a number of wine lovers that like your wine. So nothing really happens fast in the wine industry, if I can say that. You know, you've got to take it just too quickly and do the basics right. You know, it starts from in the vineyard. Make sure that you plant that on the right soils. Do the basics right. Don't let the vines bear too much, because with red, you know, you want to keep the quality, and you don't want to have too much uh, quantity. Then eventually your wines would be lighter in style, not as it should be. Rainfall might have been lighter, it might be a drier year, so as we had about 2 years ago, and you've got to make changes in your winemaking process to adapt in that instance.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Paul, if you have to give us your favorite wine quote, or do you have your own wine quote? I would love to hear that.
I think there might be a few ones, but I think it's important to enjoy a good glass of wine every night. Uh, you don't have to buy expensive wines, but if you think the wine is good, then you can drink that. You hear a lot of comments from different people how the wine must be tasted and what you must look at. The basics you can do, but if you like, or you get that question many times, you know, what is a good wine? Good wine is a wine that you enjoy, and then you build on that and take it from there. Your taste will change over the years. A good wine that you like.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. If people want to get hold of Landskroon, how do they get hold of you guys? And if they want to order, how do they do that?
The best would be to go to the website. There is a page where you can order, or you can just phone Landskroon on 021 631 1039.
Okay, that's awesome. We'll put all these links down in the description. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Very interesting. Thank you so much telling us a bit more about Landskroon. And I'm sure that you're going to be able to welcome visitors to your farm again
Thank you,
soon.
Will.
Thank you for supporting our show. If you would like to get more exposure for your business, please have a look at our sponsorship options. Thanks again for supporting About the Winelands. Please follow us on YouTube and on our social media channels. All details and links are in the description.